Welcome to OkState Daily. Casey Porter here. So glad you decided to tune in. Fans, today we have the head baseball coach of Oklahoma State University, Josh Holliday. First of all, Coach, first time this year, does it ever get old to hear head baseball coach of Oklahoma State University, Josh Holliday? Does it ever get old?
No, it doesn't. Kind of never would have dreamed that could be possible. But yeah, growing up as a little kid here and going to the field every day to see my dad, and the only head baseball coach I could have ever imagined here was Gary Ward. Quite honestly, that was my head coach, and then obviously my dad became my head coach when Coach Ward stepped aside. And so no, as a little boy, Oklahoma State baseball, the coaches, the players, those were my heroes. They were bigger than life figures and nothing I could have ever dreamed of, becoming. But obviously been very blessed and fortunate, and got a chance to play baseball here a long time ago, and now get to coach here. So it's an honor. For sure.
Yeah. Hey, I wanted to honor the chief, Matt Davis. Of course, he's moved to Stroud. He has bigger jobs there, and his son, I believe, is a senior there and doing really good things there. So yeah. I think he's going to do some of the radio, but your dad stepped in, and I heard that maybe Coach Ward's going to do a little bit of it too. So first of all, let's honor Chief. He deserves it.
Yeah, well, one of the few people I can think of that's been around Oklahoma State longer and loves it equally would be Matt Davis. He's been serving Oklahoma State since the early 1990s, and when I say serving Oklahoma State, I mean the players, the coaches, the sports, the fans, the facilities, the events, the daily, you name it. If there's a job on this campus, he served in it and did so with joy and passion for a long time, and we miss him. We do. But also glad that he's at home a little bit more with his kiddos, and he and Annie get to spend a little more time together. And he's served Oklahoma State for the better part of 35 or 40 years. And he and Rex were a nice team up in the radio booth. But we're excited that Rex has Coach Ward, my dad, and my uncle, Dave Holliday, all signed up to do radio with him throughout the year. We thought our fans would enjoy a baseball perspective to go along with Rex's play-by-play talent. And who better to call some Cowboy games than former Cowboy coaches who really understand the history of the program, but also, have a great trained eye when it comes to what they're seeing on the field and the ability to put that into words to give our listeners the best possible broadcast we can. You've got Dave, who scouted for 25, 30-plus years after coaching here at Oklahoma State in the 1980s. Obviously, my dad coached for the better part of 40-some-odd years. And Coach Ward, for me, is a great piece of the Mount Rushmore of Oklahoma State coaching history. So it's exciting to have those guys involved. They were excited to do it. They wanted to do it. And Kip Racy and Learfield wanting to just continue to give our fans a great opportunity to listen to the Cowboys on the radio. Okay,
let's back up. Let's start with this season. Let's kind of chew on it. And I know the last 4 or 5 games have been fantastic. So let's take us back to Globe Life Field. The first couple of games weren't real pretty, to be honest with you. So you guys rebounded, beat Vandy. Then the next game wasn't pretty. The first game at Grand Canyon. Last 4 games have been fantastic. So kind of put that in a bottle, if you will.
Well, I guess your perspective on all of this has to do with, what chair you sit in. When you open the season on the road, it's a great challenge. When you open against excellent opponents, it's a great challenge. And then the type of pitching you face. Season opener against Arkansas, we saw Geckel, who, if you're a fan of the sport and an educated follower of college baseball, he's arguably one of the top 3 to 4 college righties in the draft. So as a junior, he's a very highly thought of talent. Tough matchup right off the start. I thought we got off to a decent start against him, but he controlled us a little bit, and then they went to the bullpen and brought in Gibbler, who's one of the better young left-hand pitchers in the country. So an opening night, tough draw. 2 excellent arms. We weren't able to put a whole lot together. And I thought Hudson pitched good. I thought he pitched really good. They had
maybe a little nervous?
Not really. No? I don't think he was. I think he was amped up.
Yeah.
I think he was excited. I don't know that he was nervous. I don't think he has much fear. I think this is a very high-level competitor. And I think their catcher just got him. He got him on a homer in the first. I think he got him on a homer in the third. So obviously they had a lead. They had leverage in the bullpen. And we're at a point there in game 1 where we're trying to play a 3-game series in a tournament setting. And went to the pen, and our pen wasn't sharp. And they ran away from us a little bit. But You can't get your feelings hurt because of the margin. You can't sit around and be immature about the final score. You got to look at how you played, where you played well, and what mistakes you made, and then go to work on addressing them. And so we certainly had some good things to take away from that and some things that weren't quite as good. Game 2 against Oklahoma, they played great. Their offense was on point. The pitcher we faced, Mercurius, we'd never seen before. He was excellent. He had a plus changeup. And once again, final score, not what you want it to be, big margin. But there were some positive takeaways from that. And rather than overreact and pack in the bats and balls, we showed up on Sunday and run-rolled a great Vanderbilt team, a team that since then I think has done nothing but blow people out every single game. So we take on what's basically a postseason tournament to open the year, and we go 1-2. Would you like to go 3-0? You would. We didn't play good enough to go 3-0. We played good enough to go 1-2, and that's where we were at. So, that's an unbelievably challenging way to open a season. I would say it's not for the weak or timid. Maybe we shouldn't have opened like that with a team full of so many newcomers, or maybe we should have. Maybe it's exactly what we needed to show our team what the absolute best of the best looks like, so we could then determine what we have to do in order to be in that category. So we took from that experience a lot. I thought the third game between Lund and Weck, carrying a no-hitter into the final inning, we pitched exceptionally well. Springboard that to a trip to Grand Canyon, which was exactly what our team needed. We wanted to pursue good weather. We wanted a long week, and we wanted good baseball, and Arizona provided that. Game 1 was ugly. We ran Parker Jennings out there. We weren't going to short rest our starters, so the Thursday start of that, we gave an opportunity to a talented freshman who went out there and did okay, but he was vulnerable, and they got him. And we didn't do enough collectively as a team to run back on that one the way we should have. And what our response should have been was if we're going to give up 8 or 9, we need to score 15, and we just didn't quite do that. So pieced it together, got back in rotation Friday, Saturday, Sunday, played better, got a quality start from Hudson, got an excellent start from Lund, and then really I think as a team started to develop some confidence and some identity across the roster. Lots of new people getting involved, lots of new people contributing. The team in the early going already learning to move around with some guys out, and really just starting to grow. And really that's what the beginning of the season's for, Casey. It's to get on the field, it's to compete, it's to learn, it's to grow, it's to evolve, and all that being said, to do so and win. And so I thought it was a positive trip. I thought we got out of the trip to Arizona exactly what it was designed to do, and that is put our team on the field 4 times and get more and more people involved in a positive way. Coming home, it was exciting to come home. We were thrilled to get back here. We were thrilled to come back to OkState Stadium, and we were thrilled to play in front of our fans and be back in a great environment for college baseball, and the kids responded well Tuesday. We played a solid ball game. Number of guys got to the mound. A lot of guys had good offensive contributions. Defense was pretty clean, and it was a great way to kind of get back into the rhythm of being back on campus and in front of our people. So you always want more. I don't know of a day in this experience where you're not chasing more, but we are where we're at. We're a process-oriented developmental program that believes in these things. This is not a win at all costs or win at any cost mentality. This is a prepare correctly, compete the right way, and build something that we think is sturdy, strong, and one day we want to be the best in that space. And these kids are listening, and I think you've seen veteran players like Aiden Miola rise, Colin Ritchie rise. You're seeing newcomers, players new to this program, stepping in and finding immediate confidence like Campbell Smithwick, like Hudson Barrett. You're seeing newcomers like T.P. Wentworth contribute both offensively and on the mound. And you're seeing freshman players, Sebastian Normans, Terrence Bowens, Danny Wallace's, Remo and Domenico's, Ezra Essex, Quinn Shambo, getting starts and contributing, and a number of young arms and new arms. So this is what we knew this ball club would be about. And we think that this group is moving in the right direction. So, yep, that's where it's at after two weeks and change. And like I said, I think you had to be realistic I would love to have been this game ready in terms of the at-bats that are under our belt now when we started, but we didn't have that luxury. So the at-bats have improved. I think our pitchers now are starting to get more comfortable each time they go out there, and we're looking forward to what lies ahead.
Okay, so Avery Ortiz with the hamstring, and then Brock Thompson with the hand. Of course, Brock has posted since and have been in the lineup and done a good job. You're almost going to have to play your third shortstop in 5 games. I know the next man up, that's the motto here, but that only goes so far, right? So Brock Thompson posts, that's big. Can you kind of give us an update on the extent of his injury maybe, and then something on Avery Ortiz, whatever you can do there?
Avery is getting better. We've got great, unbelievable in-house therapy with Chris McKenzie, so Avery's progressing well. Optimistic that he'll return to the field hopefully by conference play. Hamstrings are tough, but he's already walking better and moving around better. He's got a smile on his face, and I think we might have escaped a severe tear and maybe got by with a solid strain, if you will. Brock jammed up his thumb pretty bad and played through the pain and continues to show up. And if Evan Saunders needs to take over at shortstop, that's what's going to happen. So the seasons are tough. They're challenging. You built your roster to absorb blows when they occur. And that means somebody inside the program is going to get called upon to do something either earlier or quicker or different than maybe what they saw coming their way. So, but I'm optimistic those kids will all make it back to us. And in the meantime, it accelerates the responsibility of everyone involved to be on point and be ready to do what the team needs.
So that double to left center for Colin Ritchie was listed at 97 miles an hour. I'm calling no way on that. That ball hit the left center field wall. That had to have been well over 100. I say that to say that sequence and then the moonshot by Aiden Miola was a lot of fun. But the funnest part of Tuesday for me was the back-to-back-to-back hits by the 3 freshmen. Sebastian Norman, 113 mile an hour single. Terrence Bowen continues to play very well. And Danny Wallace, I'll tell you what, you talk about competitive. When I watch him, I just think of the competitive level of maybe like a Zach Earhart, something like that. So can you talk about your freshmen? Is there anything they've done that surprised you?
Yeah, they're fun to watch. I agree. I enjoy the what's next possibilities with those kids. Sebastian is a strong boy. He's a strong young man. He's a hard worker. He's also an excellent runner. He moves very well when he gets underway, and he's becoming a nice first baseman. He's got some outfield skills, and he's taken to the opportunity right away to get in there and deliver some big swings of the bat. He played excellent out there in Grand Canyon, and their coach even commented, he said, I'm having a hard time believing that's a freshman.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, he's a big boy. So he's emerging. You mentioned Terrence. He's had 3 or 4 starts. He's played a really solid second base. He's had some good swings of the bat. Like most young guys, he's still learning a lot of positive things about this game. Continues to be hungry to learn and wants to always fight back each day to come back and take what the game exposed him to a day ago and make some adjustments, right? So those are the things you're looking for in your players. Danny, that's probably a great comparison to Zach. They're built in a similar fashion. They're both very powerful, strong kids. They're both excellent runners.
Little guys that aren't little guys.
Yeah, Danny has another gear in the bat.
Yeah.
And the ball will jump off the bat. And, like so many upper Midwest kids, he's a Nebraska kid. He had good showings in the summer when weather really allowed that upper Midwest talent to get out there and play a lot. He was one of the better players on the circuit. And got a little bit dinged up. And senior year, not a ton of that great baseball weather to have that big exploding senior year. So I think Danny's best days are in front of him. I really believe that. Remo's the same way. Remo and Domenico grew up in Illinois. He did finish out down in Florida, but another upper Midwest kid. Talk about a fun guy to watch. He puts a ball on a line and puts it in the gap somewhere. He can really run. So he's a fun player. So Remo's he was good. His 2 starts were good quality at bats. Even the outs were hard hit outs. They were good at bats. Ezra's gotten in there and given us a spark. He had a quality start in Arizona. I like the things he can do. So those guys they've all put together what we thought they would, and that is they bring something to the lineup, whether it's speed, whether it's power, whether it's defense, whether it's a combination of the two. They're nice pieces to fit together across the lineup, and that's what this is. It's a team game. The offensive lineup needs to complement each other, and when some guys can get in there and do some different things. So it allows us to pitch TP, it allows us to spell him against certain pitchers, Obviously, gives us a chance at times to match up against a tough lefty with some right-handed options. So it was all kind of part of the plan, and also part of kind of bringing these guys along in doses where we can get them started in the right direction and put them in matchups where we think they have a really good chance to be successful. But I think those kids have been fun, and they're the future. You know, I tell people the recruiting process, which begins several years prior to the arrival of players, at least if you're going to recruit high school players, these were really good players for us. These were players that wanted to be here, that we thought were nationally reputable talents, and that saw the program and where we're going, and wanted to be here for scholarships, and wanted to be here for the long run. These were committed kids. They wanted to be here. And the difference in that versus just a plug-and-play mentality of just trying to recruit 20 to 30 new players a year, there's a misunderstanding or misconception out there about what that's really like, and what programs are built on. So these kids want to be here. They're here for the right reasons. And so as we grow them into our team and melt them with other guys, it's been a lot of fun watching.
Do you think their fun energy that they brought to the table, do you think that maybe woke up some of the competitive spirits of maybe like a Colin Ritchie or an Aiden Miola, like, hey, this is pretty cool. This is a fun-looking competition here, and brought the best out of them?
I think those guys have enjoyed their roles as older players and leaders, to see in these young kids talent and potential. And part of their leadership role they've grown into now is to be that big brother in the house that says, hey, you can do this, and we need you to do it now, because our success as a team is relying upon you being ready now, and we need you. So let's go ahead and bring these guys along. Let's elevate these guys. And what a positive thing for older players to want to elevate younger players, and for a team to pull the same direction and not pull in opposite directions. And I think that's been healthy. And I think when you have 18, 19, 20-year-olds and an occasional veteran player of 22 years old, you're more at an age-appropriate ball club where culture and care can actually be attained. And I think that's gone on. So, you know, there's ways to lead. Colin and Aiden are leading through performance right now. They're leading through their words. They're providing leadership in terms of prompting the team. This is where we're going. This is how we're going to get there. And they're leading through performance. They're delivering big hits, and they're showing up when we need them to. So lots of good examples there, I think, of how teams are built, and the different roles guys take on as they get older inside the program.
Colin has such immense talent. I mean, he is incredibly talented. So is that kind of is that a mandate as a coach to say, hey, I've got to make sure and get all of this talent out of this guy and make him realize just how good he could be?
Well, you certainly hope so. You certainly pride yourself as a program in getting the most out of every player. Also in being able to coach great players along the path of what a great player is exposed to. We've had enough guys go down that road before. It's not an easy road to be great and then be expected to play great, and then helping them handle those expectations, then take on the responsibilities of high performance, take on the perceived chatter or pressure that goes along with being draftable or expected to be, as helping them stay in the right space. And the space is to not get caught in those thoughts, but rather just focus on the process of how to play. Colin's he's been great. I think he tried to do a little bit too much early, but I think that was a respect thing. People pitched him tough. And when we needed him on that first Sunday of the year, he put us, on his back a little bit. He, London Weck, kind of put us on their backs against Vanderbilt. And then, he and Aiden, along with the lineup, have been very much in rhythm the last 4 or 5 games, starting to create runs. And so it's just all part of it. But you certainly pride yourself as a team in getting your best players to be at ease so they can play at a high level, and not letting the junior year pressure or expectations get in the way of the process to perform.
Coach Hawksworth, welcome to Oklahoma State. Here's Arkansas, here's OU, here's a trip to a really good Grand Canyon team. So kind of assess how he's done, you think, so far to this point.
Well, I think all of us as coaches would tell you the opening weekend was a grind. I mean, we're playing 3 teams in 3 days. You've got scouting reports on 3 different teams. It felt like you were in a regional, and a lot of work went into that. You're scouting off of last year's information. You're scouting off what you can learn about a team in 1 or 2 looks. So he's been busting his tail, as has the entire coaching staff together, to prepare each game. I think we had fun working together for the first time as a unit. I thought we enjoyed each other's time and thoughts and input. The 4-game set in Arizona was fun because it was only one opponent to prepare for.
Right.
So over 4 days, we felt like we were in a great spot
That's a good point.
with information and the way we were using information. So staff's got good rhythm, got good energy. We continue to learn a lot about our players and each other, and that's to be expected. And then, I think, you can always ask Blake, but I think he's having fun. But at the same time, we are as coaches and as players, we're working with a sense of urgency.
Yes.
There's an importance about what we do every day to try to get to our potential now. We want to get there now. And if we can't get there now, we want to get there as quickly as possible. Mm-hmm. And so we're working with the kids daily to learn faster, to retain information better, and to perform quicker. That's the beat of the college season. The professional season has a longer window of time, and there's more ebbs and flows and highs and lows, and that's okay. In the college game, each week represents a unique opportunity to take a step forward, and you can't afford for those days to pass. So everyone's working with a tremendous sense of importance in what we do. And I think the fact that we opened up kind of in a heated spot revved us all up in a hurry. I know I can speak as a 14th year head coach.
Yeah.
I was more comfortable day 2 than I was day 1, and felt better about things on day 3 than I did day 2. And I think so you get back into the season and your in-season instincts sharpen again, and your awareness levels go up, and I've seen that in the kids too.
Okay, this is going to be a really good staff. I mean, you've got all the tools there. You have 2 what could be premier lefties. Mario is going to be Mario eventually. You have some returners like Noah Weck and Stormy Rhodes. You got the lefties and Drew Blake, Brennan Phillips, some really talented freshmen. So this could be a really talented staff, right?
Yes, it's a the thing that we do each day. When you get really good, stable, strong, consistent starting pitching, it helps to lengthen the time in which the game is built off the starter, and then create more clear-cut pockets of how the bullpen fits.
Yes.
And how to use the bullpen effectively, ahead, behind, or even, and how to set guys up, late to finish. I'm very comfortable with where Hudson is. I think he's a confident, high-level left-hand pitcher. I think Ethan Lund continues to reel in what I believe is 2 elite pitches, fastball, curveball mix, to go with the slider and the change. Mario made a nice adjustment the other day. That's why he took an inning on Tuesday to kind of take the adjustment he made and get into the game with it, and it showed up. He'll stabilize and solidify that rotation. And then the bullpen you mentioned, I think using guys and them starting to get comfortable and get in rhythm. You mentioned before we went on camera the importance of our quality relief pitching from the left side of the plate to go with that right side pitching. We need Drew Blake and Brennan Phillips to give us that left-handed presence that we know they can provide. We need Stormy Rhodes and Wecky to do it on the right side. And then we have a very nice complementary group of arms that we think can piece together throughout the middle innings and help us pitch good games on Tuesdays too. We went with TP this past Tuesday. So inside of 3 games, we had 3 6'5" or taller left-hand pitchers that we were able to start that all compete with really good arms. So we're piecing it together. Yes. We're learning about our guys. We're really trying to stay disciplined with our pitch counts and keep all these guys in the flow. But every week's a unique opportunity for someone else to kind of jump on board. And there's some young arms that I think we need to also. I just think about how far Ethan Lund, Noah Weck, and Stormy Rhodes have come since last year. And see where they're now. They're just sophomores. Mm-hmm. And the comfort we're starting to build and the confidence we're building in those kids. And I see this group of freshman pitchers and their potential to do similar things. So we just got to keep feeding these guys, bringing them along, and continuing to encourage them to know, hey, your time is now. We didn't sign up for this thing to sit around and wait on you, whether it's Parker Jennings or Zane Burns or
Winslow.
Drew Winslow's and Kyle Piercy's a freshman arm. And then those JC kids, Kai Fike has been good. Bryce LeBlanc has a chance to really help us. So these guys are all important parts of the team. And, we go as far as we take each other and keep growing the entire unit.
Okay, so let's get to the offense. If you look at just kind of the numbers, in the games that you've won, you're averaging right about 9.5 strikeouts a game. And the games that you've lost, the strikeouts have spiked. So talk about, first of all, address the strikeout, how you address that as a team, and then the overall offense, how you want it to look when you make this a final product.
Well, I don't know. I could ever sit here and justify the high side of a strikeout.
Okay.
I mean, I think we've all seen some at bats where someone will compete exceptionally well, and
Yes.
it might end in a strikeout. You go, man, that was a heck of an at bat, man. He just got you. There's going to be some of those in there, but the non-competitive strikeout for me is it's a non-starter. I don't see the value in that. The DNA of a strikeout is sometimes the pitcher's dictating terms, and the stuff is so good that he's grabbing strike one from you before you can get in the battle. He's mixing for strike two, and he's wiping you out on strike three.
Yeah.
We saw some of that games 1 and 2. Stuff beat us. Power to the baseball beat you. Velocity up, spin tight down. For fans that don't know what that means,
Yeah.
someone throwing the baseball 95 miles an hour harder, that's very firm. It's not an easy pitch to hit, especially when you don't know what's coming. And then spinning the ball off of that at a high rate of speed where the breaking ball looks like the fastball, only to prove by the time it gets to home plate it's not. So we saw some guys with some high spin pitches, and those pitches were hard to separate. And we didn't separate them well enough, and the strikeout totals were big, and there was a non-competitive feel to it. Didn't feel like we were where we needed to be. There's been some days where the bats have been quality and much more competitive, still kind of finishing out with strikeouts.
Yeah.
Not necessarily ideal, but at least the strikeouts were, the DNA of the strikeout was tougher to
right.
create. And the pitch counts went up on the pitcher. Maybe we dumped the pitcher, get in the bullpen. But I think in the end, Globe Life, the whole tournament, the strikeout totals were high. It's a strikeout-oriented tournament.
Yeah.
The pitchers across the board strike people out. The background's difficult, so all kinds of strikeout issues in that tournament for all teams. But that's not part of what we want to be. How do you cure it? How do you work on it? Well, you do a good job shy of 2 strikes of hitting the correct pitch if it shows up. And then if you do get to 2 strikes, you have the ability to wait longer on the fastball so you can make a better choice on the off-speed pitches. It's a skill that takes trust. The more at-bats you have, the better your timing gets. The more your timing gets refined, the better job you can do. Does it look easy from the stands? Sure. But a lot of things look easy from the stands. The perspective the kid has in the batter's box is what you've got to work with them on and help them understand it. So you keep working at it, you teach, you learn, you study, and you just pick yourself up off the ground and keep going. That's all there is to it. But yeah, strikeouts are they're not a desired identity piece, but they are part of the game that you have to constantly figure out ways to reduce them down. What's the offense look like when you're firing on all cylinders? I think it looks like balance. I think it's, can you win 5-4, 10-9, and 2-1? Can you do the things required to win different types of games, right? And that's going to be all predicated on the starting pitcher, the pitch mix, whether it's a guy that keeps the ball on the ground and keeps it out of the air, or a guy that's got wicked pitches where maybe it's going to take a walk, a sack bunt, and a single to score. And then there's going to be days where you're going to have to string together multiple barrels and have to score in double figures to win. So I think it's an offense that can do whatever it takes to win the game on that particular day. Are we that team yet? We are not. But we're showing signs of becoming better. And with that, that's all you can hope for, is to continue to get more and more quality at bats and develop personnel that can match up against certain types of pitchers.
Obviously, Over 8's beautiful. It's one of the best facilities in college baseball. 4,500 for the opening day. That's fantastic. But what do we need to do as fans to make Over 8 the intimidating home field advantage that it should be?
Well, this place is great because the people that sit right here around the lower bowl, the passionate season ticket holders they are here. They come no matter what. Those faces in the stands mean a ton. The kids light up when they see those fans here. The student body, when they come in the outfield, it creates another level of pride in a college athlete to play in front of their fellow students. I think that's been some of the most motivational days, is when that student body is here, because the kids see and go, dang, that's awesome. Our student body is here, right? Left center's awesome. So many previous players, alums in different sports. That's special to us. And obviously just when people make the effort to be here, that means a lot to us. I know sometimes you have to rearrange your schedule to get here, and you got to take off work to drive up here, or you got to plan the entire weekend to be here, or you got to spend money and invest to get up here. So anything you do to show up means a great deal to us. And I think if you ask any athlete on this campus, when Boone Pickens Stadium is full, it's motivational. When Gallagher Arena is full, it's motivational. When a wrestling match is sold out, it's motivational. And when the stadium has people in it, it's motivational. So hopefully the best crowds and best weather and best games are in front of us, and I hope people will just go out of their way to be here. It's a good team. These are awesome kids, and this is a great ballpark to watch baseball.
Most important question of the day, is $2 Tuesday here to stay?
Well, I hope it is. I don't even know what it means, but my biggest thing on opening day was just to see these kids take the field, to represent us at home and win that game in front of our fans for the first time. I wanted to hear what the walk-up songs were. I wanted to see who was going to do something and create some excitement, and hopefully the fan experience and all the great stuff that goes on in the stands, hopefully that continues to grow. But it's a good team. These guys have been great to work with, and you asked that question because we do have a beautiful place to play baseball, and it's even more beautiful when it's full of fans.
No doubt.
Continue to come out and enjoy watching these guys play.
I always go back to that Saturday night with Kyle Robinson pitching for Texas Tech. I talk to him every now and then, and he always talks about how electric it was that night. So, Josh Holliday, I've taken a whole bunch of your time. I know you're super busy. About 6 days a week you're at right now as far as media availability, so thank you so much for your time.
You bet. Thank you.